Hello everybody, how are we all doing? Sorry for the lateness, I'm very disorganized. There's a lot to get ready for these streams, and I underestimated all these things. Be prepared to publish. I cannot, unfortunately, publish a book which is owned by a different company. But, yeah, we'll see. I'm so unprepared. Welcome to GMing, yes, I'm sure. I imagine it's even more complicated than this. Right. Let's begin. For those of you who do not know, we are beginning The Forest of Doom, a book, fighting fantasy book, the third in the series, which you will be playing through various means, and I shall be illustrating, hopefully. You have designed your character last time, Pal. Little goblin friend, very unlucky, but very pleasant, plays the recorder. And, yes, the adventure will begin today somewhat. We'll see precisely how far we get, for various reasons. Right, so let's move over. Hopefully things are ready for stuff. No, it's not. 1 second. Always prepared. Here we are. So a bit of a habit from the last Drawthrough we did, which was Final Fantasy. I thought I'd have a crack at drawing the logo from memory, which is made even worse given that you saw the logo about 5 seconds ago. Pal has their recorders, they have their bread, they're ready for an adventure. Indeed, yes. So yeah. See how this goes. A couple of things to talk about before we begin. I've been trying to work out how best to make these streams work, and how best to make them enjoyable, given that the... if I see your picture on your laptop, you got so confused for you it crashed. That's a very, very good picture. I extremely good and nice. What was I saying? You're conflustering me already with nice things. Yes, before we begin, these books are difficult, very, very hard, and not designed to be finished in one go. They are designed for you to play through about 10 times, dying every single time until you kind of work out what it is you're supposed to do. We're not doing that. We're only playing this once. So I propose, you are welcome to disagree, we are welcome to change these things, that we're unlikely to get to any of them in this stream, but these are the additional rules that I would like to posit to you to try and make this more enjoyable for us. So, additional rules. I'm kind of prepared. The first kind of makes sense, which is running away from battles. Battles can be very, very hard in these games, and once you're in them, you have to fight until you die or win. And I feel like Pal is the kind of character who would happily run away, happily run back, you know, get to safety, heal up maybe, do something else. So I'm going to give you the option to run away from battles and come back at a later date. The enemies will heal in the process, so you're not exactly benefiting, but I'm giving you the opportunity to maybe do something else before you just die. So that's one thing. But these books, I feel like these books would give you that option, but the way they're designed, backtracking isn't really possible. So instead, I'm going to keep track of it for you. I'm going to let you backtrack. I'm working on a map. As we go through, I will be drawing a map, and I can keep track of all the page numbers and all that sort of stuff, so that if you want to go back, if you're given like an east-west crossroads or something like that, and it turns out only west will get you where you need to go to win, and you go east because you don't know any better, I'll give you the option to go back and go west if you run out of places to go. This game has no time limit to it. You're not being chased by anything. You're not going to die in a day if you don't do the thing. It makes sense for you to take your time and explore all possibilities. Your character knows exactly what they need to do to finish this adventure at the start, so it's not like there's a mystery to it. So I feel like I want to give you the option to backtrack where possible, to give you the best shot. You might think that this is in and of itself, you know, a massive boon, a massive benefit, but lots and lots of things in these games are dangerous. In particular, I will also give you the ability to improvise. There are a lot of unpredictable instant deaths in these games. If you can convince me that Pal found a way out that the book wouldn't have thought of, I will happily take that into account. There may be a penalty, there may be, you know, you might lose a bit of health, you might lose some luck or some gold or something like that, but Feel free to use your imagination in order to try and get out of situations. You could do it for other situations, not just instant death ones, but obviously this is up to my discretion as to whether I accept these things. But nonetheless, I want to give you the option. I want to allow you to talk your way out of these things. Because you're a goblin, you know? It's not always straightforward, you know, fighting or running or whatever. I want this to be a bit more fluid. And now you might think at this point, I've just given you the game. That, you know, you can get out of any situation, you can backtrack to wherever you want to go, you can run away from battles, you're basically invincible. That's not quite how these games work. You have limited provisions, you have 10 loaves of bread, you have limited health. Not entirely possible. It's entirely possible that you will just run out and you will have no health and you will get halfway through the adventure and not be able to continue because there's a manticore or whatever in the way and you just can't beat it on the health you have. And that's why I'm going to give you the final get out clause. This is purely, you know, for personal satisfaction or otherwise, and you do not have to take it if you don't want to. I'm going to give you the option of a neutral ending where if Pal can backtrack, Pal can leave. You don't have to die here. It's entirely up to you, and we're far off ever actually doing that, but I want to give you the option. Where Pal just goes, right, I've got a lot of cool stuff from this forest. Unfortunately, I couldn't do the thing I wanted to do, but I can go off and do something fun with the rest of my life elsewhere. Or you can die a hero. It's entirely up to you. I just wanted to give you the option. Because it makes sense with backtracking and all that. So yeah, that's basically how I'm going to make this work, trying to make this more enjoyable for you. Pal is falling from giant height, but giant bees save them, yes. Maybe. It depends if you've befriended some giant bees up to this point. Who knows? Also, there might be ways of using items. I know, certainly from having looked at the critical path of this game, there are ways of using items that make sense to use, but the book doesn't allow you to. I'm trying to think of an example that wouldn't be in the book so that I don't spoil anything. So say, for example, you know, there's like there's a fallen tree that's blocking your path, and you know you're supposed to have the buzzsaw of McGrath that will cut it out of the way, and you don't have that thing, so you're forced to walk backwards. But you do have a spell of fireball or whatever. That makes sense to use. Just because the book doesn't say it says that it doesn't mean you can't use it. So again, that comes in improvisation. I'll allow you to sort of do things like that. Sometimes I won't even tell you what the options are and just see if you can come up with it yourselves, because that might be quite fun. But other times I will corral you. Anyway, we should probably start. So, that's just the general gist of things. This should be relatively fluid from your end. I've got a lot of bookkeeping to do in several ways. So, yeah, we'll see how this goes. If there are any objections to those things, do tell me. But for now, we'll start at the beginning. And by the beginning, I mean the introduction. Where are we? Background. Begin with background. You don't think you trust Pal with a buzzsaw? Well, I don't think there's a buzzsaw in this game, but there might be even worse things. So we'll see. We'll see. Also, I can't hear music because of a new setup. So, okay, it is there. Cool. I'll try and find like a nice fantasy background thing for the future, but for now, this is what we've got. I've been rather rushed recently. Okay, so we begin. I've done a couple of doodles to sort of warm up. There's a bunch of stuff starting off explaining who, you know, the kind of adventurer you are. We'll skip that. This is Pal. We're Pal. Fireball, at least in D&D, is a huge spell with lots of possible collateral damage. Well, I'm not saying you can use it without being hurt. I might. It's up to my discretion. We'll see. Okay, so where are we? We begin with background. Passage 0. It is evening. Also, I have to try and change all the text so that instead of saying you, it says pal or they or whatever. Oh, music's getting loud again. It might not be loud for you, but do tell me if it is. Suddenly we're in Dark Souls again. That's a normal sort of volume. Anyway, let's begin. Setting the scene. It's a bit loud. I can turn it down. That's absolutely fine. Again, I want to try and find a mix that can sort of go in the background and not be in the way. It's your wonderful first stream, isn't it? You barely trust actual human players with Fireball. Fair enough. Okay, we begin. It is evening. and having feasted on a dinner of rabbit, spit roasted on an open fire, Pal settles down to sleep beneath a sheepskin blanket. There's a full moon, as has been demonstrated by my wonderful art skills, and the light sparkles upon the blade of their sword skewered into the ground by their side. They gaze at it, wondering when next they will have to wipe the blood of some creature from its sharp edge. These are strange lands inhabited by strange and loathsome beasts, trolls, even dragons. As the flame of their campfire gently dies, they begin to drift asleep. Their campfire. I'm gonna mess up, don't worry. And images of screaming, green-faced trolls flicker through their mind, which is not that far off themselves. Suddenly, in the bushes to their left, they hear a loud crack of a twig breaking under a clumsy foot. They leap up and grab their sword from the ground, which is boom, there we are. Or they think it's the sword anyway. They stand motionless but alert, ready to pounce on the unseen adversary. Then they hear a groan, followed by a dull thud and a body falling to the ground. Is it a trap? Slowly, they walk over to the bush where the noise is coming from and carefully pull back the branches. They look down and see a little old man with a great bushy beard, his face contorted with pain. They crouch down to remove the iron helmet covering his balding head and notice 2 crossbow bolts protruding from the stomach of his plump chain-mail-clad torso. There's a lot of hyphens in that sentence. Picking him up, they carry him over to the fire and stir the dying embers into life. After covering him with a sheepskin blanket, they manage to get the old man to drink a little water. He coughs and moans, sits up rigid, eyes staring fixedly ahead, and starts to shout, in a voice I have not prepared. Oh, get them! Oh, get them! Don't you fear, Gillibran! Big Leg is coming to bring you the hammer! Oh, yes, indeed I am! Oh, yes! The dwarf, whose name they presume to be Big Leg, is obviously delirious from the poison-tipped bolts lodged in his stomach. They watch as he slumps down again into the ground, then whispers his name into his ear. His eyes stare unblinkingly at Pal, as he again starts to shout, "Ambush! Look out, ambush! Ah, the hammer! Take the hammer to Gillibran! Save the dwarves!" His eyes half close, and the pain seems to ease a little as the delirium subsides. He speaks again to Pal in a low whisper. "Help us, friend. Take the hammer to Gillibran. Only the hammer will unite our people against the trolls. We were on our way to Darkwood in search of the hammer. Ambushed. Others killed. Take the map in my pouch. It'll take you to the home of Yazstromo, the master mage of these parts. He has great magics for sale to protect you against the creatures of Darkwood. Take my gold. I beg you to find the hammer and take it to Gillibran, my lord of Stonebridge. You will be well rewarded." Big Leg opens his mouth to start another sentence, but nothing comes out, except his last dying breath. Pal sits down to ponder Big Leg's words. Who is Gillibran? Who is Yazstromo? What is all the fuss about a dwarvish hammer? Pal reaches over to the still body of Big Leg, to remove the pouch from the leather belt around his waist. Inside, they find 30 gold pieces and a map. It's a small map. There's nothing on it at the moment. There it is. I just want to point out that on the map in the book, there is something which I think was called the Moonlight Plains or something like that, but it's been cut off and it just says Moo. Jingling the coins in their hands, they think of the possible rewards that might await them for returning a hammer to a village of dwarves. They decide to try and find the hammer in Darkwood Forest. It's been a few weeks since the last adventure, and, you know, they might be well paid for this one. They might be able to afford that bass recorder they've always been coveting. With their mind made up, they settle down to sleep, having taken back the sheepskin blanket from poor Big Leg. In the morning, they bury the old dwarf and gather up their possessions. They examine the map, look up to the sun, and find their bearings. Whistling merrily, they head off south at a good pace, eager to meet the man Yazstromo to see what they have to offer. Their adventure awaits. That's the introduction. Yeah, so that's basically the setup. Your Pal is a little sort of wandering adventure, trying to find things to do, and then all of a sudden this dwarf comes in, and yeah. You need to save the dwarves by recovering their hammer. That's the idea, anyway. And you are on your way to Yazstromo, because apparently Yazstromo has magic, and not aliens. So yeah. Is that all clear? I think that's all clear. I suppose I've got to start sort of actually going through the game now. Right, I haven't actually prepared any drawings from this point on. I have prepared that, though. We'll get there, that's fine. So, their walk to Yazstromo takes a little over half a day, and they arrive at the stone tower, dirty and hungry. As the tower is set back on the edges of Darkwood, some 50 metres away from the path that they've been following, it's difficult to find. But finally they walk up to the huge oak door, somewhat relieved to find that it does exist, and that Big Leg had not been speaking wildly in his delirium. A large brass bell and a gong hang from the stone archway. As they ring the bell, a shiver runs down their spine, and they realise that the loud bong invades a deep silence, which they'd not noticed before. There are no sounds of birds or animals to be heard nearby. They wait anxiously at the door, and hear slow footsteps descending stairs from the tower above. A small wooden slot in the door slides open, and 2 eyes appear to examine Pal. I need to come up with a voice, I suppose, at this point. I won't draw this, it's literally them standing at a door, but there's more to draw later once you have stuff to work out. Voices. I should have thought of this before, shouldn't I? I was just about to do the same voice as I did for the dwarf. Well, who are you? Demands a grumpy voice through the hole. They answer that they're an adventurer, Pal, in search of the Master Mage Ystromo, intending to purchase magical items from him to combat the creatures of Darkwood Forest. Oh, well, in that case, if you're interested in buying some of my merchandise, you'd better come up. I am Ystromo. He then turns and slowly climbs the stone stairs. I presume at some point he opens the door. Doesn't actually say here, but, you know, you are now given 2 options. I suppose I'd better open the voting system at this particular point in time. Which, for some reason, I don't have here. Hang on 1 second. Doop, doop, doop. Bingo bongo. Cool. The door is open. However, I shall now give you an option. How do I start this? Is it start or begin? I'm not sure. Give me a second. Teething problems. Give me a second. It's fine. Up-a-doo-doo-doo. Right. I can't remember whether it's start vote or begin vote, but we'll work it out. I think it's begin vote. We'll work on that. It's neither of those. It's not working. It's fine. Teething problems. Ah, there we go. It's up. Cool, you can vote now. Haha. Yes, you are given the option. Will you follow this man up the stairs who you don't know who's a wizard in a tower? Or are you going to take out your sword and attack him? It's pretty straightforward. I'll doodle this quickly. Why not? Need to get into the habit of drawing at some point, I'm sure. That's quite a big thing there, isn't it? Let's make that a bit smaller. Cool. I'm very surprised. When I knew that this was going to be the first choice, I was almost certain that Triforce would go with attack. Does that say more about me than Triforce? Probably. Hang on, that's what I So here's the door. Let's get some actual sort of setting in the way. Here's some stairs behind a stone-clad thing. You can't attack me, unfortunately. I should probably make the title of that a little more obvious. But anyway, I also have to design Ystromo, so I'm going to go with the Logan approach. And by Logan, I mean Dark Souls Logan. As we know, there are plenty of Logans, including one of our own, the best Logan. But by that, I mean massive hat. And probably a beard. And very long robes. Just cover all the limbs, why not? There is no body under this, it is just a mass of robes and beard. This is what I'm going to draw Ystromo to be, because I was given nothing apart from the fact that it was an old sounding voice, so that's what I'm going with. He's just walking up the stairs, he's alright. Lawful evil, not chaotic evil, that's fair enough. So I've got to get used to drawing Pal quickly now, which is something I haven't done. But I should do, because let's face it, I'm going to have to do it a lot. They too are primarily coat, is that not correct? Coat and recorder. Always draw the recorder. I like how this sort of started off as a joke, but now it's absolutely serious. The recorder is part of the personality. So this is the sort of plan, is that you guys have the opportunity to vote while I'm doing the doodle. Should give you plenty of time. Big boots. This is the second draw through we've done, and both of them involve a lot of big boots. There's no real sort of perspective lines to this, is there? I think 2 there, something like that. Does look a little bit like Yoda in this, but here we are. Anyone feel like playing Fashion Police for you in a hot second? Ooh. Real life interaction. See, here's me coming up with this sort of fake choose your own adventure game. Plamps has got their own. Welcome to the draw through. Everyone is coat. Yes, it's like Jesse Roth from the last one. Actually, I suppose, I mean, I don't think there are many characters with names in this, but should I give you the option to name the characters? I don't know. I mean, I've kind of spoiled that the guy who died at the beginning was Big Leg and that this guy's Yastromo, but I'm sure you can change their names if you want. That was always quite fun. There we go, that'll do for the moment. It was a big oak door, if I remember correctly, so... And there was a little pier hole through which the eyes can go. Next characters are going to be named by you. Fair enough. Like I say, to be fair, most things in this game won't have a name, but you're more than welcome to name them anyway. Hello, what did you miss? A dwarf died. A dwarf died and told us that there is a hammer that is missing from somebody called Gillibrand or something. I can't remember already. And we need to get the hammer back to save the dwarves. And then we nicked their stuff, and now we're at a wizard's tower to get some magic, which will apparently help in the forest. Right. So, I think the results are relatively unequivocal. We have follow or attack. We have 8 votes for follow and 1 vote for attack me. Alas, attack me does not win, follow does. So we're all good. We're just going to carry on, follow him up the stairs, and everything's great. So you decide to follow. Excelente. Considering apparently you're playing an ARG according to Chris. Yeah. That's part of the fun. It makes life interesting. It's like some sort of weird Darren Brown experiment. Sorry, I'm keeping track of all of the pages we're going to in case we have to backtrack. Right, we follow him up the stairs. Fun fact, had you decided to attack him, he would have turned you into a frog, and that would have been the end of the game. Now, here's the fun part. Here's the fun part, where my system completely breaks down. Black eyeliner, yes or no? I mean, sure. A fan of black eyeliner, why not? Winged eyeliner, ooh. Frog Pal would look cute though. Feel free to draw it. Unfortunately, you chose the other option, so I don't have to. Okay, here we go. Pal follows the huffing and puffing old man in his tattered robes, apparently they're tattered, up the spiral staircase to a large room at the top of the tower. Shelves, cupboards and cabinets line the walls, all filled with bottles, jars, weapons and armour of all strange manner of artefacts. Nostromo shuffles past the general clutter and slumps down in an old oak chair. He reaches into his top pocket and pulls out a fragile pair of gold-rimmed spectacles and places them under the massive hat. He picks up a piece of slate and chalk from the table next to the chair and begins to write frantically. He then hands you the slate. Here is the slate. He tells you that all the instructions for use are written clearly on the labels attached to the items, together with their suggested use. He sighs and tells you that unfortunately the magic in the item works only once, but they are the best you can buy for the money. We now need to work out what you want to buy. We have 30 gold. Here are all the items. It's a lot of stuff to get through, and this is where my my voting system rather falls apart, because it doesn't take multiple options. So we have, for 3 gold, you can get a potion of healing, you can get a potion of stillness, holy water, ring of light, rope of climbing, net of entanglement, armband of strength, headband of concentration, fire capsules or nose filters. Or for 2 gold, you could get a potion of plant control, a potion of insect control, potion of anti-poison, boots of leaping, glove of missile dexterity, rod of water finding, or garlic buds. Garlic bread. Yes, indeed. Yes, the voting system doesn't quite follow this, so we will have to do this via chat. What are nose filters? I don't know. I've drawn icons for all of these. I spent the morning drawing 17 different icons for these items, so that they would appear when in the inventory system. When it came to nose filters, I had no idea. So I just ended up having like sort of 2 straw-like things that you'd stick in your nostrils. I don't know. But that's the thing, is that the book gives you no instruction as to what these are, or indeed whether they'll be useful. I'm pretty sure, from what I've discovered, I don't think any of these are essential. But you can take what you like. Some of these sound very familiar. Fair enough. Maybe in case there's poison in the air, that seems, I assume so. I mean, we're going into a forest. There might be like weird poison spores, you know, sort of fungus, that kind of thing. You know, bear in mind there's also potion of plant control and potion of insect control. That's basically the fungus, the anti-fungus, as it were. Or for farts. Could be farts. Could be big ogres with bad farts. Like hippos and halitosis. So yeah, somehow, between us, we need to work out what we're going to buy here. If anything, you don't have to buy anything. But we have 30 gold, which is also the gold that we need to get through the forest, that we might need to use gold in the forest, so we don't have to spend it all. You're a big fan of healing potions. Okay, so one thing I do want to say is that, strictly speaking, the potion of healing might not be something that we use to heal us, necessarily, because in a minute I'm going to give you an option, and that does include having a potion that heals you. I think the potion of healing might be for, you know, healing a specific ailment, as it were. You're saying boots of leaping because that sounds fun, and potion of anti-poison so we can hug Plamps' parsnip mon slime. Those are for sure. Fair enough. It might not be. Again, I have not played this game. We are playing this together, or rather you're playing it and I'm watching. I'm watching your Let's Play of this. So, yeah. So do we have any sort of that really stand out as, yes, we're definitely going to choose that? Let's bring these together so that we actually... This is a bit bigger. This is what I meant in my my pre-stream crawl about how much shopping is there going to be in this stream. Other people can and should die. Well, aren't you a bundle of fun oops? Anti-poison boots of leaping rope. Cool. So we seem to be pretty much anti-poison boots of leaping. That seems to be there. Rope of climbing. Yeah. Healing ring of light, if it's like a torch. Who knows, it's a magical item. So we're sort of thinking... what are we thinking? We're thinking rope of climbing, maybe. Anti-poison, boots of leaping. Ring of light. Ring of light. Armband of strength. Okay, so what would that be altogether? That would be 9 for 13. Yes? Yes, 13 gold so far. We have 30 in total. I don't, we may need more for the adventure ahead, we may not. If you want to buy more than that, you're welcome to. I don't think you need to buy multiples of these, but I may be wrong. The book gives you no instruction either way. And while we're here, I might as well add this, because we should have done this last time, but I might as well weave it into the narrative. Is there a death by dehydration in this game? There's probably a death by everything. So who knows? Do we have probably the Rod of Water Finding then? We could do Rod of Water Finding. That one just sounds useful. Water's always a nice thing to have if you can get it. You can't get a good photo of your decision. Oh no. The survivalist in you is like, if we need to find water. That's fair enough. So that's what, 15 gold? That's half of our gold. Potion of Healing ×2, Rope of Climbing, Fire Capsule, Holy Water, Anti-Poison, Boots of Leaping, Rod of Water Finding. That's a lot of a lot of additions there. So 2 Potions of Healing, Fire Capsule, Holy Water. They're the new ones. So that would be an additional 12 gold. Which would mean we'd have 3 gold left. You're just suggesting. What is a fire capsule? It's presumably a capsule that can start a fire. I don't know. And it is fire capsules. It is plural. 9 ladies dancing. Yes. I thought that about the Boots of Leaping. Isn't one of those like Lords of Leaping or something like that? 7 Boots of Leaping. 7 boots? That doesn't sound useful. Garlic buds make you think there are vampires or something? Maybe, maybe. You almost want to say the control ones because it's a forest with some doom in it. It's fair enough. The thing is that theoretically all of these are useful, but it depends on whether or not we're going to come across the use for them. I suppose if we can backtrack, we can come back and buy more if we find gold. I don't know. It's not entirely implausible, unless he tells us to bugger off and never come back again. But we already made a fire, considering we ate a rabbit, so I don't think we'll need the fire capsule. Well, maybe we'll need it in a hurry. Maybe we'll need to do it very, very quickly. Who knows? Out of what we've picked, what do we think we'll need? Holy water is almost always useful against anything holy or undead. Or unholy or undead, that makes more sense. Fire capsules because Pal is a goblin. You have a debate, Ring of Strength versus Headband of Concentration. You guess you're thinking, are we a bard and concentration is better than strength? Or are we a bard and thus we need something to bolster our strength in situations where we need strength? Who knows? The forest doesn't care for our class. We have to do things regardless. You feel like the Glover missile dexterity is too specific to ignore? Seems like it. I mean, that might just be... The way I viewed it is rather than it being about, like, missiles, it was about just thrown objects and makes you throw things really accurately. That's my guess. That's definitely how I drew it. So definitely holy water. People seem to be going for holy water, so we can go with that. And by people, I think I mean Miss and Dark Sun. So we can sort of put that on the list, why not? I think that's 18 gold. It's a lot of specifics, though. Good old meme there, yes. Forest's haunted. You've already made a spreadsheet. Wonderful. The thing is, we don't know if these are one-shot magic items or like equipment. It says, Yastromo says, the instructions for use are written clearly on the labels attached to the items. That basically means the book will tell you when you can use them. He sighs and tells you that unfortunately the magic in the item only works once, but they are the best you can buy for the money. So I think they're all one-shot magic items. Things we have now minus the armband of strength feels like strength is not our thing. Maybe. Would we spend that money on something else? So the magic in the item only works once. Apparently, yes. So if you want to use the armband of strength, you need to use it in a specific situation where strength would be required, like pushing a tree, or a boulder, or a particularly heavy mushroom. You feel the headband of concentration is pretty useful for a bard? Probably, maybe. Can we refill the magic if we keep the item? Probably not. You probably have to pay the cost of the item again if you want to come back. The armband of strength would also be good. Maybe. Total for all of these is 44 gold. So you don't know if we're meant to spend all the gold since you can't get everything anyways. Maybe. I don't know whether gold will be useful in the forest. You can use all your gold. That's fine. I'm not telling you can't. If they're one use, maybe not the light ring. Seems we can just light a fire when we need light. Fair enough. Again, I had no idea how long this bit was going to take, because I wasn't prepared for something like this. I think we should pick some key items out of what we've already chosen. Okay, so what are the absolute definites that we all agree we should have? If it's magic light, it might help us see some things that aren't normally visible. Maybe. I know some things about this story, but not a lot. So everyone picks one item. Done. Yeah, 15 people. That is, there are 17 items here. We might as well just choose the 2 we don't want. Potion of anti-poison. That seems sort of good for a forest, perhaps. Holy water. Rope leaping, holy water, water finding, anti-poison. Holy water. We've got leaping and climbing. Got both of those. We don't have the gold for that. Exactly, yeah. Some people are going to have to rescind their vote. I can't think of a better way of doing this than just this melee of conversation at the moment, so... The arrows the dwarf was shot was poisonous, so poison is a thing for sure. That's clever. That's good. I don't know whether it's accurate, but clever. So what was it? Rope, leaping, anti-poison, holy water, water finding? Water fighting purely for survivalist sort of instincts, I think. That's basically all the ones I ticked apart from the Ring of Light and the Armband of Strength. If the dwarf's enemies are now our enemies, Potion of Anti-Poison would be just smart. That does make sense, yeah. You want plant control? You think there'll be plants that try and block us in the Forest of Doom? That would make sense. Again, I don't know. Again, given that I'm kind of giving you free reign of all of the areas, it's entirely possible you might need all of these at some point. I don't know. But again, I don't think many are necessary. There's usually other ways of getting around it, including your improvisation. Haha. Pal is small, can't he just crawl through? It depends whether on, if it's the grass. Good luck crawling away from grass. Okay, so we seem to be going for plant control. Cool. Oh, hello. Photoshop doesn't seem to be going for plant control. There we are. Cool. Do you want to undo that, maybe? Thank you. That's half our gold if we go for one more thing. Yeah. 8, 6, yeah. So 14. Maybe one more? Again, given that we have the system of backtracking, it's entirely possible we could come back and get something else later if we find out that we need it. If it's safe to do so, who knows? If we can actually escape the thing without dying, that is. Kind of breaks this mechanic. But then again, this mechanic is kind of annoying, so I don't necessarily mind. Maybe you can only visit him a few times before it starts getting annoyed. Do we need more? Feel like these are the essentials? I'm happy to go with this. Potion of Stillness, as that strikes you as something that helps sneaking? Maybe. I don't really know what it means. That's one of the ones I wasn't really sure how to draw it. So what is a Potion of Stillness? Does it make everything quiet? Does it paralyze things around you? I don't know. And how would you use that as a potion? You're between healing and fire capsules. I think you want concentration. All of these are useful at certain times. That's the thing. is we need to make a judgment, and this judgment is largely arbitrary. We got to make choices, and I don't want to go past hour 1 purely doing shopping, you know? This makes for a fun part 1. Anyone who's watching the VOD could probably skip forward to when we stop doing this. Okay, we can go with this. Is everyone happy with this? Sorry. Okay, I do have to type everything in now. And hopefully I spell things correctly. Okay. And hopefully I have spelt all the items correctly as it is. Probably didn't hyphenate that, that's fine. Sorry, just sort of behind the scenes widgets. Right, so we have the Potion of Plant Control, Potion of Anti-Poison, Boots of Leaping, Rod of Water Finding, Holy Water, and the Rope of Climbing. That's what we're going for. This will cost us in total, what would it cost us in total? 14 gold. We all good with that? If so, we can carry on. This is good, yeah? Don't want anyone to be shouted over. Again, we do have the ability of improvisation if you can think of anything that would work. So, yeah, we're all good, all cool. Right, let's see if my thing actually works. It might not work. We'll see. There may be errors. Oh no, that looks fine. Cool. Right. So we have in order our sword, potion of plant control, potion of anti-poison, boots of leaping, rod of water finding, holy water, and rope of climbing. Not entirely clear from the things because they're quite small. Perhaps next time I can make them bigger. I'll work it all out. It's fine. You can work out the rope at the very least. So anyway, we've done shopping, but we're not finished at Nostromo's tower. No, not at all. Blah, 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 blah. Nostromo then asks Pal the reason for their purchase of these items, and they quickly tell him the story and their decision to continue the quest of the luckless Big Leg. What was his voice? Ah, yes. No, hang on. Oh, yes. Nostromo says slowly, rubbing his chin. I heard that good dwarf of Stonebridge have lost their fabled warhammer. Without it, their king is unable to arouse his people. That it says arouse, not rouse. Despite the fact that the hill trolls threaten their village. Rumour has it that an envious king of another village of dwarves sent an eagle to Stonebridge to steal the hammer, which it managed to do. But it flew back over Darkwood and was attacked by death hawks, and the hammer dropped into the forest and was lost. Apparently, 2 forest goblins found the hammer but could not decide who was to keep it. They wrestled for hours but gave up. Then they discovered that the handle unscrewed from the head, and the argument was settled. One kept the head, the other kept the handle. Then they parted, each happy with their new treasure. Who knows if they still have them, so I'm afraid your problems are doubled. I can tell you that the head is made of bronze, and that the handle is made of polished ebony. Both head and handle have the letter G inscribed on them. Your task is not easy. In fact, I shall allow you to have one thing extra, for free of charge. I will allow you to take one of either a potion of healing, a potion of skill, or a potion of fortune to help you in your endeavours. That's the next vote, and you can vote on this one because you can only have one. Goblins! Yeah. So, yeah, how did I start the vote thing? Because I'm bad at this. Okay, so... Does that work? That might work. No, that didn't work. So what are we going to do? All luck? So, okay, a little bit of reference before you make your decision. we should have done this, really. You actually technically have this potion before you get to this tower, but nonetheless, I thought I'd weave it into the narrative because I forgot to do it last time. Oh, hang on, I need to change the vote. Give me a sec. There we go. Okay, so now you can vote. Are you going to vote for Potion of Fortune, Potion of Health, or Potion of Skill? For reference, a Potion of Skill restores our skill, which is our fighting ability and our dexterity, that kind of thing, back to its full amount, which at the moment is 8. A Potion of Health does the same thing with Stamina, which is our health. And... Oh, there we go. It is updating. And the Potion of Fortune restores our luck and adds 1 to our top luck. So at the moment it's 7. If we use the potion, then it goes up to 8 and restores to full. Everyone seems to be going for Fortune, so I'll cut off the vote whenever we have a majority. That seems to make sense. Although I don't know how many people there are in chat, because there's also a lot of bots, so who knows. Or luck. I think we need luck, because we have literally the lowest luck you can have. But you get this for free, so it's fine. Let me open things. I'm bad at organising. No, not Potion of Lick. You think luck it is? It seems to be. Seems to be. Let me see if it updates. I do have to flash this off on and off screen every time I want to refresh it because HTML doesn't want to access local files unless you give it explicit permission every time it reloads, and that's annoying. I say annoying. It also stops people from hacking your computer, which is a good thing. So, there we go. It looks a little bit like piss, but it's there. Potion of Luck. Cool. We got that. Right. Let's get those out of the way. Everyone seemed to be voting for Fortune. Good, good, good. Right. Pal thanks Yastromo, sorry, and leaves the room by the spiral staircase. You now exit the tower. Apologies for not drawing racks upon racks of bookshelves and cabinets full of trinkets. Might have been here a while if I did that. So, that's all done. We've got lots and lots of stuff. We have, just to summarise, Potion of Plant Control, Potion of Anti-Poison, Boots of Leaping, Rod of Water Finding, I just drew dowsing rods, Holy Water, Rope of Climbing, and a Potion of Luck, or Potion of Fortune. Potion of Luck is just piss. Okie dokie, so we go on, we move on into the forest itself. Bingo bongo. I'll get sort of easier at this. Outside in the bright light, Pal notices the dead quietness again. The narrow path leads northwards from the tall grass surrounding Nostromo's tower into the dense undergrowth of the dark forest. In a few strides, they are surrounded by the dark and tangled forest. Stones and knotted roots seem to hide in the shadows, and you can almost believe that they are trying to trip you up. The light fades quickly, and the air becomes moist and unpleasant. Deeper and deeper they go into the gloom. Eventually, the path forks on either side of a huge old tree. East or west? We come to our first annoying binary decision, but the one that we can backtrack on, because I've changed the rules. Things will happen soon, trust me. Climb the tree again to gain sight advantage. Well, the trees are tangled in all sorts of weird roots and strange things. I wouldn't advise trying to climb that. You just fall off or get hurt by something thorny, definitely. My system's a little bit temperamental. There we go. It is up there. Cool. East or west? East or west? Ha ha ha. We've got a bit of a split on our hands. East-west because of reasons. I'm going to draw Pal because I haven't done it for a while. And you know, that's kind of why we're here. Let's draw the back of Pal's head. I'm not entirely sure how the pompadour sort of ends at the back, so I just sort of stopped it. I'm pretty sure there was a strap somewhere, wasn't there? I can't remember. What do we got? We have 6 for West and 4 for East. Anyone want to change their vote? Or are we all good with that? We're going to go with West. Again, we have the backtracking ability. We have come out of Nostromo's tower, and we have a fork. East or West, just for the purposes of my keeping track, this fork is on 177. Cool. Okay, we're going West. Happy with West? You put them the wrong way round? It depends which way you're facing. We're facing north, aren't we? We came out north. So we're facing north. So East would be to the left and West would be to the right. No, it's the other way around. Yes, you're quite right. I have a solution. Sorted. Yeah, I'm bad. I always mix up East and West. I don't know why. It's just one of those things. North and South perfectly fine. East and West always confuse it. See, look, you guys can improvise. I'm allowed to improvise as well. If I cock up, it's fine. It's difficult to draw a pompadour from the back, isn't it? You get the idea. Professional artist. Yes, professional artist, not professional cartographer. To be fair, if we came from the north, it would be correct. If we were facing north, it wouldn't be. Yes. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so we're going west. We're going that way. That's the way we've decided. Marvellous. Let's have a look and see what is west. Shall we? We as pal. I'll keep this up because it's something to look at. Having to juggle a book is difficult. We go west. 229. Can do. The narrow, overgrown path continues to weave its way through the crowded forest. Strange animal cries echo through the trees. It's not long. Oh, fantastic! It's not long before you arrive at another junction in the path. If you wish to continue westwards, or you can turn north. So basically, yet another binary decision. Isn't this adventure fun? I'm glad I chose this one. West or north? The jungle's getting overgrown. Are we going west or north? We're going north. The overgrown jungle has put you off. You decided to go north. That's absolutely fine. Let's update our map. We went west, which is this way. Yes. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I tend to be. We don't know what's that way yet, but for now, there's now a split for west and north, and we decided to go north. So that's west there, and we'll carry on this way. Lots and lots of north. If we continue west, it should be ahead. The north will be to the side. Oh, okay. No, because we're heading west, but the signpost is to our right as we're heading west. It's fine. So this is the way we were walking, and we had to turn around to look at this signpost. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, we have one vote for north. Remember to mark the page number on the map. Thank you very much. This is for the purposes of backtracking, so that we can always come back if we want. Right. I'm also writing it down on paper so that I know where we're going. And so that I have physical copies in case, backups happen. In case backups happen, that's not what I meant. So we're all happy with going north, yeah? Yes, thank you, Ragnar. That's very, very nice. Good, thank you. All going north. Excellent. We continue north. North, hopefully something will happen. So that we can actually have something to say that happened during this adventure. There's plenty of things in this. I know actually events happen and it's not just a maze. Okay. Oh, something kind of happening. The path heads north into the thick forest. In one of the few clearings between the trees, Pal sees smoke rising from the chimney of a wooden hut to their right. If Pal wishes to look through the window, or would you like to keep walking north? Do you want to investigate the hut? Or do you want to keep going? It's up to thee. An actual decision. Are you going to be nosy, or are you going to... So yeah, we're just in a sort of... There's lots and lots of trees, and then there's just this little clearing. I've got to draw a lot of trees over the course of this, haven't I? Just a little clearing over here, in which there's a small wooden hut. I can draw, trust me. It's very different when you actually have no idea what it is you're going to have to draw next. It's kind of interesting. It has a little chimney with smoke rising out of it, so presumably there's somebody in there. Who knows? We might if we investigate. Nose up that glass. I presume there's a stone element to the chimney, otherwise it's going to catch fire. Not a good idea. This house is all kinds of wonky, but it's fine. It's fine. It's a wooden house in the middle of a enchanted, horrible forest. You can't have everything. There's a very high window as well, or a very small door. Not quite sure which. It's got a strange guttering as well. I can draw houses, trust me. It'll do, anyway. Because we're actual goblins, yes. This is where the voting system's going to fail us because we're actual goblins. Well, that makes sense. We are playing a goblin. Nothing horrible has happened yet, so it's like this is the nice part of the horrible forest. Maybe. So what have we got? We have 2 votes for continue north, 2 for nose up that class, 2 more for investigate, and 1 for mosey way up into that clearing. Pretty sure investigate has won there. Regardless of what format it comes in, I can interpret, that's fine. I need to change the font colour for the title. I'll do that between streams, it's fine. You feel like there is no nice part of the horrible forest. The nice part of the horrible forest was the wizard that gave us spells and things. You left to put your plate away and now we're investigating a cabin in the woods. Yeah. But there's smoke coming out of the cabin chimney. So it's fine. You're welcome to vote to continue north. But I don't think that's going to sway. Because there are 5 v2 so far. Maybe they got goods, maybe they got cookies. True. And we only have 10 loaves of bread. I mean... By the way, I should point out how the bread works. At any point when you're not in immediate danger, you can choose to have a loaf of bread. You can only have 1 at a time. But it restores 4 points of stamina. So, just so you know. Vote burn cabin. I don't think we can do that. We didn't take any fire, if I recall. We can always leg it. Presumably. I don't think anything's going to kill us just for looking in the window, but who knows? I don't. Right, are we going to look in that window then? Just a little peek? Little peek. Let's have a look at a little peek. You would kill someone for peeking through the window, it's rude. True, but if you're in the middle of the forest, it's different. Middle of the city, fair enough. There's plenty of windows. Someone might just be there to sort of tap on the window and say, hello, I need help, you know. But who knows? Let's have a look. We are going to examine the hut by looking through the window. Pal peers through the small, dirty window of the hut to see an old woman in grubby clothes with a wrinkled face and a warty nose reading one of several books by the fireside on the far wall of the hut. A hunchbacked servant is carrying more books to her from the shelves crammed with old books, charts, and scrolls. If Pal wants to enter the hut, they can. Otherwise, they can return to the path and head north. Go in or leave. It's a witch burn the cabin. I don't think we took fire stuff. You've got to vote. I have a voting system for a reason. Again, there's no shame. Like this might involve a plot critical item, but if we leave, we can always come back because we're not disturbing them. We're not making them leave themselves. They may still be here when we come back later if we need to come back later. What if she's a wise, old, nice lady? They've got a lot of books and a lot of scrolls. What if she got food? I mean, 2 people live there. There's a hunchback servant and an old lady with a nose. No guarantee they're a witch. They might be, you know, perfectly non-magic reliant. So what was this? This was there. So let's have a quick little doodle of the people in the cabin, shall we? Oh, hello. Go away. I have a keyboard. You do not need to bring that up on me. It does that occasionally. Okay, so we're looking for a window. So let's grab a window. It's a grotty small window, apparently. But they don't look up after their window, it seems. And should you trust people who do not look after their furnishings? I don't know why it looks like a picture frame, but here we are. Oops. Yes, as Photoshop loves to do, it selected a 1-pixel area. We're in the Forest of Doom, you doubt they're nice. You never know. You never know. So there was an old lady. I'm pretty sure she was sitting down. She has a long, crooked nose that's got warts on it. She happens to be wearing a hat. It's fine. Like, don't judge. People can wear whatever they want. It's absolutely fine. She's got nice hair. And then there's a hunchback friend, carrying a plate of books or whatever it was. We assume the hunchback is some sort of, you know, I'm gonna give them a nice smart appearance. Hunchback, there are various reasons you can have a hunchback. It's just a sort of medical condition. Don't need to start assuming a person's mental state purely because of a physical difference. No assumptions here. Maybe some spots. Keep it bald. Bit of a comb over. I love if we actually go in here and we have to fight this. They appear to be looking this way, but that's not the case. This is what I'm going to look like when I'm 43. Yeah, and he just had like piles of books or something, wasn't it? Just sort of stacks of books going up. That's how you draw a pile of books. Let's give it sort of a nice sort of necklacey thing. Sorry, I'm taking probably a little too long on this decision, on drawing this thing that you have almost certainly decided to run away from, but it's up to you. It's a nice chair. There they are, slightly odd couple. They've got a bunch of bookcases as well. Lots of books and scrolls. It's all good. It's all good, having a nice relax. Just reading, just chilling. We're prying in on their personal affairs. Right. What are the votes? Knock on the door, 3. Leave with 2. Leg it out of the... I like how that got 2 votes. Like that exact spelling got 2 votes. Leg it out of there got 1. Greet the witch got 1. Say hello 1. Enter the hut 1. We have agreed to go in. We have agreed to have a look. I refuse to draw a wizard's tower full of books. Group find a house full of them instead. Yeah, of course. Right, by the sounds of it, we're going to go say hello. Let's go knock on the door. Where are we? We were at 38. That's cool. For a second you thought they had one of the doors, the weird bead curtain. That was once the style. Oh yeah. I remember those. My grandparents had one of those. Where are we going? We are going to 315, does that make sense? Yes, cool. Got to make sure I'm getting the numbers correct, otherwise we just jump forward in the story. Pal opens a rough wooden door and walks into the middle of the dingy hut. Will you try to talk to the old woman, or draw your sword? Are you the talkative type, or are you the attacky type? Vote to piss self. Boom. Wait for a second for the voting thing to catch up. There we go. Play the recorder. I suppose that counts as talking in a way. I'm not going to draw a picture for literally every single passage, but I feel like I can augment this one for whatever happens next. Where are we at? 3:15. Just barge into this person's house and say hello. Hang on, let me just, for the sake of expediency, copy that. Paste it there. Is there music playing? It's very quiet if it is. Oh, there is. It's just kind of nice background. I should put my earphones up so that I can actually hear. You said knock the door, not barge into the hut, but there you go. Okay, you knock the door. There's no immediate reply. What do you do? But knock the door. Without that, we would have gone in regardless, because there were still more votes that way. We still have a run for the hills. The book doesn't give you that as an option, but we can always take it as an option. You can still run away, that's fine. The person in the house will be very confused that somebody just walked in and then immediately ran. But you can have that as an option, that's fine. If you feel this was a bad idea. I don't know. These ears are getting big, aren't they? It's a Dumbo. That's better. Come on, Photoshop, you can do it. Vote doot 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 doot. Engage card charm. What? You're making a mockery of my voting system. How dare you? How dare you? Music's loud again. I will work something out next week, hopefully. Vote mockery of the voting system. Do you know how long it took me to code that? Do you know how long it took me to try and make it look nice on screen? That's HTML, that is. That's CSS, JavaScript. It's not easy to make that look nice. Oh, hello. What? You bastard. I have permitted the term, you bastard. I mean, what did you expect? That's fair enough. I mean, none of these are going to count as votes. Protest votes are only going to cause the proper votes to actually go through. Piercing subject to change. What are we doing? We have 2 for play the recorder. We will have 1 for have a chat, talk, run for the hills, Love the parsnip. Mockery of the voting system. Fucking doot doot. I mean, what did you expect? Oh, hello. That is getting cut off. Is there any way I can make that bigger? I didn't expect this many options. Is there any way I can fix that? Apparently, I can cut it off more. No, hang on. I know how to do this. I know how to do this. Boom. Haha. I think overall the vote was talk. Yeah, I think the vote was. There's have a chat. There's talk. You don't want Pal to die. Is the doot doot in reference to the recorder? If so, I think play the recorder actually won. Explosive diarrhea apparently is also in there. If Pal dies, we die. IRL. Yeah, that's true. I have your addresses. Doot Doot is the recorder. In that case, I think the recorder actually wins. So, let's have a little recorder sesh. I should probably practice drawing a recorder because fun fact, prior to now, the complete opposite of subsequent, never drawn a recorder. I only sort of vaguely remember what they look like from school. I think that's the way around. There you go. Grab some. Also, I find it interesting that I don't know precisely. Hang on, let me look up a picture of a recorder just very quickly for the purposes of this next sentence. No, we're fine. We're good. I didn't know whether or not a recorder had 8 holes in it, in which case it would be a bit weird for a 6-fingered person to play an 8-holed instrument. But it's fine. We're fine. That's twice your life has been threatened by me in the past 5 days. Maybe. I didn't threaten you last time. You see, you took it as a threat. I purely meant it as, you know, during the games you tend to run out, primarily because I make you run out. This is XCOM talking about in particular. It wasn't a threat. It was just, you know, I wouldn't be surprised. I mishandle your character enough. I wouldn't be surprised if it all goes wrong. So, yeah. You've got thumbs. There's an end at some point. That's how they work, yeah? Something like that. Well, she seems pleased with it, at the very least. Now, let's see if this works. I don't know. You was going to bring up before that they wouldn't be able to play LOC. Yeah, there's probably some fiddly work that they have to get around with. With a nice tableau. Yeah. Where were we? We were at there. Okay, so we have the choice between that, which is attack, versus, I'm building up a nice little map of this game. In inverted commas, talk. Which was do. Right. What could possibly go wrong? Okay then. Pal begins making this sound. expecting maybe some nice conversation, expecting maybe someone to, you know, at the very least ask, you know, what's going on, why they're playing the recorder in the house. Instead, the old woman throws back her head and roars with laughter as the music begins. She is, as the book puts it, she is an evil woman. Lose 1 luck point and either draw your sword or flee. It's up to you. You can do either. It just says she is an evil woman. That's it. That's not a witch. So we lose 1 luck, which is always a good start. Yeah. Boom. Well, fight or run. It's up to you. Again, I give you the choice at any point in combat to run. I just love her. An evil woman. Ooh, that's interesting. Hang on, I'm sorry, I'm just following something in my... Oh, okay, interesting. What do we got? What's going on? Sorry, I'm just reading ahead. I'm giving nothing away. I mean, who knows what they might have? They might have something good. Or we can run and survive. I need to take away 1 luck point because we lost that. Because we're unlucky. Because this is an evil woman we're talking about. Bingo! There we go. My thing works. It runs entirely off JavaScript and it's very janky, but it works. What have we got? We have 3 for run. We have 1 for run, binch, run. We have 1 for haul ass out of there. We have 1 for I said run for the hills earlier. Fucking run. Goodbye, evil woman. I told you so. Now run. Set the cabin on fire, then run. We don't have anything to set it on fire. Ask if she wants to be friends. I want to know which of you wrote that. I'm thinking Kiro, but I'm not sure. Oh no, Kiro said I run for the hills earlier. Fucking run. That's fair enough. Who said the nice thing? Oh, is it Goose? Is it Goosey? No? Goose? Oh, that's... Well, ask if she wants to be friends now has 2 votes. It's you! Yay, Goosenberg! Yay. Everyone spam the crispy goose. You're more than welcome to take that as an option. I've read ahead. I can actually improvise that. I'm not necessarily saying it'll end well for you because I'm basing that off the option to attack. So take that as you will. We're going to die not even 2 hours into the game. Yeah. If you're reading this yourself, this is about 10 minutes into the game. So we take a while to do this. Sorry, I haven't updated this, have I? I have not updated this. She is an evil woman. Also, ignore the fact that Pal's floating. He's fine. I love how she is an evil woman. Oh, so janky. Love it. Okay, so I'll cut off the vote here. Ask if she wants to be friends technically in the lead, but run, haul ass out of there. I said run for the hills earlier, fucking run, goodbye evil woman, and set the cabin on fire, then run, are all basically the same thing. So what we'll do is we'll leave them to their devices and we'll have a little run away. So let me have a look and see how we do that. Oh, sorry, looking at the wrong one. Sorry, there's a picture of a... I'm not going to tell you, because that's spoilers for the rest of the book. Okay, so... let's update the map quickly before I do anything else. So, there was a little hut. We may come back here if you so desire. Here's the hut. Little off the path. There was smoke coming out the top of it, and there may or may not have been a witch in there, or an evil lady at the very least. But we have decided nonetheless to carry on forwards, yes? She wears a game address, what? This is for the sake of reference. What? Cool. Right, so we carry on north instead. We run out of the hut. Pal runs out of the hut and just blasts their way north. They hear the sound of cackling behind them, and all sorts of strange incantations and noises, and even more smoke, no longer coming out of the chimney, but now coming out of the front doors and the windows. They feel like they made a bit of a lucky escape, but they rush off into the undergrowth and continue north to 220. Haha. What? We have bad luck. She scared the shit out of us. Butt blasts. What? You start off with a sentence, and then it just turns into words. Ooh. Ooh. Love it. Right. So we continue north. Let me just draw that on the map. Have the bookmark. Sorry, I'm juggling about 7 different tasks at once. It's fine. It's fine. Didn't read the first part. That's true. Vote diarrhea on the floor and run. No, we're out of there. It's fine. Pal hasn't even had any provisions yet. But you also said the word blast, so you know about blasts. Whatever. Cool. Okay, so we travel north. Travel a little bit further north. What do we find? What do we find? What do we find indeed? Well, our curiosity has bitten us once before. Let's see where this goes. Walking along the narrow path, Pal notices a big tree to their left with a large hole in its trunk, just above head height. If you wish... Well, what do you want to do with it? There's a head height hole in a tree. What do you want to do? So that works. Oh, Photoshop, stop being like that. You can vote what you like. I will look ahead at the answers and then try and improvise something. Yeah, so we have the sort of large sort of I can never remember where the earrings go. So far, the adventure has really just been random things happening, and you know, there's actually no sort of payoff or trade-off for any of them thus far. But things will happen that will actually have some sort of, you know, beginning, middle, and end. That's not gonna work at all, is it? Maybe. Dot it up a bit. He's looking more and more like a Jedi, really. Oh, they, sorry. Vote stick head in hole. Hang on, let me just draw. There's a tree with a hole in it. There it is. What are we on? We're on. Guys, there's probably spiders in it. It's fantasy, it's going to be a big spider. Could be. Miss will not like that. Spider squirrels! Squirrels with 8 legs and 2 tails. I want to draw that now. What do we got? Hang on, let me just read ahead so that I can interpret your things as necessary. We're on that makes sense. Okie dokie. We have 3 for throw a rock in, 2 for poke with stick, 1 for don't poke the angry evil spiders, or 1 for stick head in hole. I think throw rocks into it works. Okay, so we throw a couple of rocks in. Let's just draw that. Photoshop doesn't like me, it's fine. Give me a sec, hang on. Just try and make it like me a little bit more. Got a lot of layers and this is only stream 1. Good-o, think I'm going to have a different document for every stream. Although we're getting through things quite expediently. If it's something else, we don't want to hurt it by poking a stick. If we are throwing rocks, that is the thing. As in, don't throw the rocks hard, or just kind of like chuck in a couple of little pebbles. To be fair, it was literally throw a rock into it. Like, throw is not a soft verb necessarily. You know, it's not like, you know, hurl or catapult. But anyway, you throw a stone in there. And you hear a clattering sound followed by a short squeak. What do you do now? My questions are getting more and more specific. I'll let you guys vote. Photoshop doesn't like me. Thank you very much. Okay, I won't draw. Oh dear. Nope, I've just double T'd that. Sacrifice self in penance. I like that. We're gonna have to take a little while because Photoshop's angry with me right now. You're late. Hello, Emily. How you doing? We found a dead dwarf who told us to go find a hammer so that it could save its people. We have agreed to do so. We did some magic shopping where we got a bunch of items as are shown on the right. Then we ran away from an evil lady. An evil woman. Yes. That mythical creature, evil woman. And now we're throwing rocks into a tree and something squeaked. And clattered. That's the basic gist of what's happened so far. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention. We went to see the old lady who we didn't realise was evil to start with. And so we decided to introduce ourselves by playing the recorder. So yeah, that's what happens. Triforce, not everyone here might necessarily know your sense of humour. And that you are sarcastic. Was it evil woman capitalised? I don't think it was. Where was the page? It was 42. No, the sentence is literally 5 words, the only one capitalised being the first. She is an evil woman. That's it. You realised she was evil, you said run. You did, Kiro, you did. You had sense. Unfortunately, this is a democracy. So, yeah. What do we got? Help the hurt squeak. Apologise. Kiss squeaking BB. Sacrifice self in penance. Take a look. Pal means well, they're just really unlucky. So Pal generally feels bad about hurting the squeaky thing. And so just kind of shouts in and says, sorry. Hang on, what page are we on? I've got to... Okay, we're there, and then we've got to move because we're actually doing a thing. It's a mess. I'm going to make a proper flowchart of this at some point. Here we are. Okay, so, you apologise into the hole, and nothing happens, because chances are they don't speak English. The hole is extremely dark. Most of the forest is extremely dark. You can barely see anything as it is, let alone inside a tree. So you decided to try and feel around in there, just to see if you can find anything? Does that make sense? Do we want to do that, or do you want to leave it at the apology and move on? The evil woman is Mary Berry? Evil. You can just go in there very lightly with a hand and just sort of try and find the squeaky thing and stroke it. Touch the BB. We need to see if it's hurt. Vote touch. Yep. Okay. So we'll do that. You put your Pal puts their hand in very slowly into the dark hole, tries to feel around and apologise. It comes into contact with something cold and hard. Feels a bit like a metal bowl. And as you start to try and sort of work out what it is, the touch of this thing, Pal winces with pain as the sudden feeling of sharp teeth dig into the fingers. Pal pulls out their arm very quickly, hanging on to the seemingly metal bowl as blood drips to the ground from a very small cut on the finger, but nonetheless rather annoying. We lose 1 stamina as the consequence. Evidently, we'd rather upset the little fellow in the hole. They're taking their revenge for us throwing a rock at it, which is fair enough, I think. But whatever it is, it certainly doesn't want to be interrupted at this point. Nonetheless, we got the metal bowl out, and it doesn't actually seem to be a metal bowl at all. It looks like a bronze helmet. And it looks like it'll fit Pal. What do we want to do? Do we want to put it on? Or do we want to carry on? Hang on, wait for me to set up the thing. Bingo. You can investigate it. It looks like a bronze helmet. There is nothing particularly remarkable, no unusual markings. It's just a kind of bronze helmet. Has the thing... It doesn't appear to have updated. Hang on. Give me a second. Should have changed. There we go. Now you can vote. So we did lose 1 stamina from that. Should have to update. Because of a little nick on the finger. That's fine. We have 21 stamina. We're pretty good in that department. Well, 20 now. Slap that bad boy on. Right. Let's tape this tableau, put it over here. Oh, hello. My thing doesn't like apostrophes, apparently. Apologies for the apostrophes. It's a mask that kills you and turns you into a vampire. I mean, we are in the Forest of Doom. Bear that in mind. I don't know what this helmet looks like. I should probably read ahead to find out what it does look like. Okay, so there's nothing remarkable about the particular design of this thing. Anyone got any suggestions for how this should look? You could theoretically put it in your bag without putting it on. That's something you could do, and you could try it on at a later date, perhaps. Who knows? Stop putting apostrophes in the thing. I know that was you, Triforce. It should look cute AF. I don't know. It worked. I know. I don't know why it didn't work for the Pompadour one. Again, this is like this is one of those things where we have the option to put it in our bag, even though the game doesn't necessarily give it to us straight away. But it is a possibility. You can vote for that. I'm trying to think what to make it look like. I want an interesting design. You know. I don't want it to just be, you know, standard Viking helmet that I always draw. Don't cover their face. That's what I'm thinking of. If we do decide to put it on, I don't want it to cover the face. It also needs to fit this head, so... It was a fancy apostrophe. Ooh. Squirrel helmet. What? How do I draw a squirrel? Okay, good. Yes, references are always fun. Ooh, look at that. That looks cool. So it's kind of got a sort of crowny kind of thing at the front, and then it's a simple bit at the back. Okay, I'm cool with this design. It's got a kind of wingy, sort of feathery feel almost. Always draw the eyes after you've drawn the rest of the head, unlike me. So far on our adventure, Pal has seen a dwarf die, bought a bunch of magical items, played the recorder at an evil lady, and thrown stones at a squirrel. Chris likes to ignore your chat, aside from the chats admonishing him for ignoring the chats. Yeah, pretty much. Sorry, I've got a lot to think about in these streams, so a lot more than usual, which is I'm bad as it is, let alone these. So what are the results? 5 for put it on, 2 for put it in a bag, 1 for slap that bad boy on, 1 for wear it, and 1 for don't mess up the pompadour. Well, I think the pompadour might be getting messed up because we're going to put that helmet on. You're still curious as to what loot the evil female had, though? We can always go back. It's on the map. So yeah. What do we got? We are going to try on the helmet. Turn to 179. Turn to 179. And this is the bit that the reason I wanted to make it a good design. Tentatively, Powell places the helmet upon their head, cautious of any unusual magics or occult strangeness, as we have already seen before with the evil woman. All of a sudden, a surge of power begins to run through their body, making them feel strong and fearless. The helmet has magical properties and will allow us to add 1 point to all future dice rolls when computing our own attack strength during a battle, as long as we're wearing it. So we'll note this. We now have a cool helmet, and it makes us stronger. Bingo bongo, things were good. We got bitten by a squirrel, though. That is the thing. But we have increased our skill, essentially. But we sort of add 1 point on all dice rolls, so I need to write that down somewhere. I didn't account for stat modifiers. Cool. I've got it written down. So yeah, we got a cool helmet, and it makes us strong. So let me draw, as I'm sure I'm going to have to plenty of times in the future. Where's my bookmark? It has disappeared. Fantastic. Did I mention the disorganization? You have the squirrel helmet of bitchin' stats, so come at me, bruh. Yeah, that we can call it that. That's fine. Sort of difficult to make that sort of helmet work when you have massive ears, but we'll work something out. It's fine. Shobs? What are we talking about? Who? That's the only thing I don't like about this format that we're doing for this one, is that I have so many things that I need to be paying attention to that I can't actually read chat as much as I'd like. I want to know what you guys have to say. You're funny. There's a little tuft, a little buttock of hair, just. That's absolutely what this looks like. Do not comment about perspective or structural details or anything along those lines. So it has a little tail on it. Because it's a squirrel hat. Right. We're totally cursed now. We're cursed in a positive way. We get +1 to every combat roll. What's all these weird things in the squirrel? There's the squirrel. Alternatively, we could go fully down the squirrel route. And we could do like... God, it is. Oh, it did have those sort of spiky things on before, so we got the ears, but also there's these bits. I don't like Pal with a frown. With a kind of evil sort of Skeeter, is it, from Doug? Looks a little bit like him. Too much for my liking. Pal's a pal. It's like, yeah. For good. I can play the recorder for even longer now. Pal has scampy squirrel energy. It works. Fair enough. Yeah. Cool, so we have the helmet of squirrel power. As well as a slight cut on our finger, which I probably should have illustrated. It was dripping blood, as was mentioned. But we're just radiating energy now. I already mentioned that. Cool. So I'm gonna have to draw this at some point and put it in our inventory. Should we do that now, maybe? So here were all the items that I drew for the purposes of shopping. There was a potion of healing, potion of plant control, potion of stillness, potion of insect control, potion of anti-poison, holy water, ring of light, boots of leaping. I should probably zoom in a little bit. Rope of climbing, net of entanglement, armband of strength, glove of missile dexterity, rod of water finding, garlic buds, headband of concentration, fire capsules, nose filters. I drew one for every single item because I'm like that. Pal should scamper at least 60% more now, absolutely. Which, given the high amount of scampering that already happened, you know, we're in for major scampering. So, what have we got? I'm going to have to change sort of brush settings quite a lot in order to do this, but it's fine. So here's a basic helmet shape. No, that's not what these look like. Yes, I thought I'd put something sort of memorable on the band of concentration. No, Photoshop's just not going to like me. I suppose having sort of 3 particularly busy things open at the same time. I can do this at some later point, it's fine. Can we retcon buy that just for the aesthetics of having blur eyes on us? I mean, you can, but it's going to cost you money. How do these go? It was bronze, if I remember correctly, so we could probably get that down in this particular detail. So yeah, all the time we're wearing this, we're slightly better in battle, which is pretty good because we have quite low skill. Sorry if this part is not particularly entertaining, but I'm doing this for the purposes of making sure we know what we have at any given time. Also, we've been making quite fast progress through the world, so I'm not particularly unhappy about that. Bronze is sort of more like that, really, isn't it? I can do this more off screen, but we're basically at the end of the stream, so I might as well just get this done. What do we need? This. That. Really, it should sort of be this whole area, shouldn't it? All of that, bunch of this. Sorry, I'm just doing... I've completely forgotten the adventure that we're on at the moment, and I'm just drawing a helmet. It's fine, it's fine. I will do this off screen in future. Come on, Photoshop. Make sure the name is Squirrel Helmet of Bitchin' Stats. Shob. We can go with Shob. I'll call it Shob. You are that. When you start doing something and then start realizing, oh, hang on, no, this isn't what I'm supposed to really be doing, is it? I should probably be doing something entertaining. I promised interactivity, and I promised something fun for everybody else. And here I am doing this. And there's like sort of the occasional divot. Because it has been in a squirrel tree hole for a while. It's a bit... okay, so let's bring that down. Doom, doom, ba-doo, doo, 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 doo. Backlighting is always important for metal. For some reason. And yeah, let's do something like this. Soften up the edges a bit. I think we can do... That's kind of like it. Sort of makes it feel a little bit more metallic. Bring that sort of there-ish. That'll do. Okay, so now we have that. Let me just save it. I'll take that away because you don't need to see. So what were we going to call this? We were going to call this Shob, Squirrel Helmet of Bitchin' Stats, Shobs. Chris on his drawing stream. Am I drawing too much? No, but I'm not focusing on the adventure, you know. Okay, we now have to remember. All of you have to remember what Shobs means, because I'm now going to make that the official name of this thing. And I'm going to have to keep track of it. Right, so hopefully, if I've done everything properly... There it is, it's in the inventory. Wonderful. Good, we have that now. Yeah, I know about that, that's fine. Cool, go away. Right. Drawing item for the adventure. I'm not focusing on the adventure, though. I know, but it's not the actual adventure. I've already drawn the item twice here, you see? So yeah, my system works, which is good. Automating systems is always fun, even if it is with HTML and JavaScript. We are the best pal with worst luck. I mean, we've been alright so far. We've lost 1 luck because of an evil lady, but we did get a cool helmet, which increased our skill. It doesn't increase our skill, it increases our rolls for skill. But, yeah. We'll tell you if we're bored. Look, you guys are lovely, but I don't want to take that for granted, you know? It's the only good thing that's happened to us. Let us revel in it. Okay, okay. So we have the squirrel helmet of Bitchin' Stats, Shobs. And that's it for the first stream. We have the option to continue. Well, we have the option to continue. Where are we? We're on there. 1 and 5. We will continue north or backtrack, entirely up to you, next time. I think that was the page. I'll circle it so I know that's the page that we're on right now. Oh, fantastic. Sorry, I've just looked at the next page. Right. Save slot 1, absolutely. Or back to the witch's hut, possibly. We have the special helmet now, but who knows? Squirrel in the north. Yes, I should probably... Have I marked things on the map? Go away. So there was the squirrel. That was already marked. And that gave us the helmet, so I just want to mark this on the map. So +1 helmet. So that if we ever come back here, we don't get the helmet twice, because I've forgotten. That absolutely looks like a helmet. There's no way you could possibly misconstrue that as anything else. There we go, that's better. Totally doesn't look like a kind of cute cat from the front. Cool, so we got that. And next time, if I get my brushes correct, we continue north. Or otherwise. It's entirely up to you. I will recap what happened last time at the beginning of next turn. Or at the beginning of the next stream, next Wednesday. Let's get rid of the vote results. We stand Evil Woman, yes. We're not going back to Evil Woman. Who knows what treasures they may hold? They may hold the key to the rest of the game. You don't know. I don't know. They might have nothing. Or they might just be this weird, strange couple who are living in the forest and just minding their own business. They happen to be evil, but they're trying to mind their own business, you know? So, yeah, thank you everybody for coming along. Let's leave this on a picture. Not that one. Not that one. Definitely not those two. It's melancholy, but I like this picture as I was drawing it. So, yeah. Rest in peace, Big Leg. Yeah. Maybe she was evil because she didn't recycle or something. Your goal is to convince us all to become friends with her. Maybe she just needs friends. Who knows? And the book's super judgmental. I just see. This is why I like not reading ahead, because I like having the surprise of, oh, you've encountered Evil Woman, not witch, not hag, not crone. No, Evil Woman. Love it. So yeah, but we've got in a decent way so far, more than I expected. I'm kind of getting the hang of drawing PAL, as I have been doing literally all afternoon. As well as all of the item images and stuff. We +1 to skill rolls, lost a little bit of luck, but we've got a luck potion, so that's not too bad. We still have all of our provisions, as well as 16 gold. Just a reminder, potion of plant control, potion of anti-poison, boots of leaping, water of rod finding, holy water, rope of climbing, potion of luck, and now the squirrel helmet of bitchin' stats. So yeah, it looks like an illustration out of a children's book. Thank you. This is awesome cover art with these pages inside. I mean, we maybe could make a story out of it, but it's a lot of effort. That's what the streams are for, and I'm archiving these streams as well. Just so people know, I'm kind of annoyed that we didn't do that with Final Fantasy VII. So I shall be highlighting all of these streams. They shall be staying on Twitch for the foreseeable future. They will not disappear within 2 weeks. If you miss any episodes, you can catch up. Yeah, so they will remain here ad infinitum, so long as I actually remember to highlight them, which is something I have to do. Anyway, we've got to do stickers first before we start thinking about books of playthroughs we haven't finished yet. Anyway, I'm sure there'll be stickers of PAL eventually. So, thank you for coming along. This was very nice and very fun, and it kind of worked. I was worried about the shopping, which took half an hour. Oh dear, the voting is there. Go away. Shush. You just noticed the daffodil on the grave. I wanted to draw a flower, but I didn't want to draw just like a kind of round petals and whatever, you know? Wanted something with a bit more structure to it, and my mum likes daffodils, so I know how to draw those. You like a shop, okay? I know, I just don't like taking advantage of you guys. I don't like thinking of you as ways to make money, if that makes sense. I like thinking of you as people I want to make things for, but I want to make them in such a way that I don't lose money? I don't know. Anyway. And also, if there will be stickers coming from this adventure, we're going to need a sticker for the Evil Woman. And also 15 people's opinions. Yes, it's difficult to keep track of all that. A lot of stuff going on in these things. But thank you for coming along. It's been very nice. I like having all the people here and lots of people. You meant never mind, it's all good. Look, I was literally just talking about how hard it is to keep track of things. I'm bad enough when we're just doing normal drawing streams, let alone when I also have to take care of the JavaScript for the overlay, the paper copy of the book, the map, the book itself, It's lots of stuff, lots of stuff. Rest of my porridge. My brain's not too bad today. It's still stormy, but it really feels like there's going to be another storm. My cat doesn't like storms, so I've got to look after her. But yeah, other than that, I'm wittering on again, aren't I? It's 21:13, as the Coheed and Cambria song goes. We've missed 21:12, which is Rush. Not sure when 69:69 is. But thank you everybody for coming along to the inaugural episode, kind of, ish. Yes, we have... It is Wednesday, isn't it? So the next one is Saturday, which is XCOM. Haha. We continue with XCOM. Nat 69. We haven't used the rolling yet, have we? The dice mechanic. Because we ran away from combat. Or possible combat. Who knows? It might have turned out all to be a misunderstanding, and then everyone has cookies and it's a good time. Oh, you didn't get 69, you got 31. Less than half. Love the VOD people. Absolutely, VOD people are great. I'm not sure there are many VOD people. There are loads of people here today, which I'm very appreciative of. Thank you very much for coming along. Again, I reiterate, all of these will be archived, so you never have to miss out on one if you don't want to. And VOD birds, of course. VOD birds. Naturellement. Yeah. I'm sure there was something else I was going to say. I can say it in the Discord. It's fine. You're all in the Discord, right? I think you are. Yeah, I don't think anyone's missing. Possibly. Stan you VOD bots. Absolutely. Thank you very much for watching the VOD and making it this far through the 15 minutes of wittering, as is usual for these streams. I will see you Saturday for XCOM. Have a wonderful time, everybody. Enjoy yourselves. Whatever the time may be, whatever the day may be. Obviously, people watching this live, there's going to be one of 2 days it could possibly be. But for people watching the VOD, it could be any day. If you VOD-bodded, did you skip the shopping portion? Leave your comments in chat. It's nice. Squirrel! We've got the squirrel helmet. That's the important part. Have a lovely day. Yes, indeed. Enjoy yourselves. Yeah, be kind. Be kind to yourself and to others. Particularly to yourself. You tend to forget that. Like, comment, subscribe. Nah, just be nice. Hit the bell. I always turn off the bell, so I can't tell people to hit the bell. Yeah. Enjoy yourselves. Be kind to yourselves. Have a wonderful time. Goodbye.